Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the EDI Jester. Hello all, wherever you may be. It's lovely to speak to you once again. Now, here we go. Buy me a coffee, Warrior Teachers, the usual. It'll be up in the next couple of days, the advert. Come on! Want some more people from the English. There's things my Warrior Teacher are getting up to. I wish I could tell you, but I can't. But we're going to try to put some stuff together so I can give you a breakdown of the things that they've been involved in. They're doing incredible work. Come and join us. People like you, come and join us. Become part of the program. Become part of our little strange community of misfits. That's what we got called the other night. I think it's great. So, Matt Walsh, let's talk about him. I know you don't like him, and I know you think he's the devil incarnate, which you've got to stop thinking, because he's not, right? Everything he does comes from a good place. Whether you like it or not. Whether you like, he hates women, he doesn't hate anybody. What he's doing comes from a good place, and he's concerned about children. I'm no fan because apparently he doesn't like gay people, right? In which case I just think he wants to be left alone. That's my honest opinion, but we'll see. Now, there's something important that he's come up with. Whether you like him or not is actually immaterial, because boy, oh boy, oh boy. He's certainly roughing up people in this space, isn't he? In this, this milieu in which we find ourselves working together. Again, strange bedfellows. He's certainly causing somewhat of a kerfuffle or a furore, whichever you prefer, okay? So I've got a lovely tweet from him that I'm going to explain to you, and I'll put the link to the tweet in the doobries as I normally would, and I think this is absolutely extraordinary, and I'll be looking forward to hearing what you have to say in the responses on the YouTube video. And the other thing is, folks, I'm well past my capacity, so I'm no longer able to say a huge thank you to everyone who's supporting me, because I really do appreciate it when you buy me a coffee or send me a super thanks, or I just haven't got the capacity, folks, to be able to go around and thank everybody, and I do apologise for that. It's just the nature of the beast, isn't it? I'm sure you'll understand. So here we go. Breaking. We like a breaking story. So this is coming from Matt Walsh. The largest trans healthcare providers in the US are rubber stamping letters approving gruesome, life-altering surgeries. It's such a racket that my producer, that's the producer of his show, was approved for testicle removal in 22 minutes. 22 minutes. The tape is disturbing. First, some background. Ari Groner, Groner, is a licensed clinical social worker who educates doctors on trans healthcare. No such thing. Jesus Christ. A recent training session for the Juniper Centre, Groner explained that she writes whatever letters her patients want because she's not a gatekeeper. There's then pictures in the tweet thread that can show you.
I'm not going to be a gatekeeper. I'm not going to be a person that's going to stop them from accessing care. I'm not there to determine if they're...
Right, and you can also hear the tape that Matt's producer has made in which he was able to request the removal of his wobbly danglers within 22 minutes. Right, okay, so... Interesting, you can listen to this. Right, thank you, Matt. Groner was referring to WPATH standards. This is eunuch nutters. WPATH. We need to look at you right the way back. Who the hell is it that started all this crap? Which major hospitals follow. They require that trans patients obtain a letter before undergoing surgeries. But Groner tells her audience to treat the letter as a persuasive essay and to greenlight even suicidal patients. If this isn't medical malpractice, is that such a thing? Yes, it is medical malpractice. If this isn't that, I don't know what is. The insurance companies need to stop paying for any of this. Groner explains that insurance companies won't pay for these surgeries unless the patient is diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Right. Well, so what they're doing is they're attempting to bypass that gender dysphoria diagnosis so that people who just want to have it done can have it done. Because you've got obviously people that have what they call gender dysphoria. I'm now of the opinion that gender dysphoria doesn't exist. It's simply sex dysphoria, body dysmorphia, and that they have a problem with their body. And it's usually a morbid, comorbid symptom of other things, or it's a fetish or a paraphilia. That's the only things I think it is. So they won't pay for it unless you get that gender dysphoria diagnosis. Well, that doesn't work, does it? And if you can just get one so easily that in 22 minutes you can have your wobbly dangers removed and extracted. She says healthcare workers should provide the diagnosis. We're using that diagnosis, she says, to ensure clients get the necessary treatment. Whatever insurance companies might think of that, it's the industry standard. The popular trans telehealth service at Folks Health for example, instructs patients that even if they don't fit the definition of gender dysphoria, the diagnosis is needed so that insurers pay out. Folks, which provides letters authorising surgeries for a nominal fee, goes on to admit that it's quite possible patients will receive a letter indicating a gender dysphoria diagnosis even though they really do not have dysphoria. It's a flesh-sacrificing meat factory because it's a flesh-sacrificing cult. We're really through the looking glass now, Alice. We reached out to folks about this. A staff member confirmed that a diagnosis of gender dysphoria, with the word diagnosis in scare quotes, is a requirement for insurance purposes, even if it doesn't apply. The largest trans healthcare provider in the US, Plume Clinic, runs a similar scam. They sell letters for $150 authorising surgery. That's how our producer received approval for testicle removal after a 22-minute video call. In his intake form with Plume, Greg provided a fake legal name. He said he had dysphoria in the past, but he stated that he never experienced it for more than 6 months. Under the current version of the DSM-5, that means he doesn't have gender dysphoria. They're subverting it, aren't they, to get what they want? Money, money, money. Plume quickly scheduled Greg for a video interview anyway. He assumed the identity, called Chelsea Bussey. That's brilliant, Chelsea Bussey. He didn't even attempt to pass. He badly mispronounced the name of the surgery he wanted. He made it clear he didn't know what effect the surgery would have. So yeah, he just turned up as a bloke. Nevertheless, Plume's nurse practitioner said she wanted to write the most solid letter possibly to justify surgery. Greg tells her that he once wrote an essay in school about being a woman, which everyone thought was ridiculous. Greg also tells Plume's nurse practitioner that his father has been prescribing him hormones for years. The nurse doesn't question this in any way. Instead, she says that the arrangement is perfect. 3 days later, Plume sent this letter to Chelsea Bussey, who does not exist, saying he was experiencing significant ongoing gender dysphoria. The letter also strongly recommends Chelsea for testicle removal, and the letter is in the tweet thread. You've got to see this. The letter keeps capitalising orchiectomy without an before it, as if it's just been copy and pasted into a template. Greg followed up to learn why he had been diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Plume admitted they just used letter templates provided to them by WPATH. Can you see what it is yet? Sanity. Later, Plume's nurse practitioner confirmed that in order for the surgery to be paid for, the dysphoria diagnosis would need to remain. At the same time, the nurse appeared confused as to why Chelsea Bussey had requested testicle removal in the first place. This scam is the cutting edge of trans healthcare. After launching just a couple of years ago, Plume now operates in 41 states. Folks is in 47 states. How is it possible they've expanded so quickly? The answer is that there's big money behind Plume and Folks. Both of them. Plume and Folks raised more than 45 million last year. Kraft Ventures just led Plume's 14 million fundraising round. Is David Sachs, I've no idea who that is, aware of what is going on? Is anybody aware of what's going on? Insurance companies like Aetna and United Health Group and Cigna work with Plume. Do they know they're paying for surgeries based on obviously false information? Some states have restricted this kind of medicine. Florida, for example, has passed a law banning most trans telehealth services. Trans activists and the Associated Press have complained that this law is onerous. We know what the Associated Press are up to from my previous video. They're furious because they know that gender transition industry is corrupt and fraudulent from the ground up. Protecting kids is just one piece of the puzzle. The fight begins there, but it doesn't end there. The whole industry needs to be shut down. And the first responder to that thread was Elon Musk, who said, incredibly disturbing thread, which it is incredibly disturbing. Now, there are people out there who are going, yeah, we're only worried about the kids, you do what you want. I'm past that again. Now, I'm past it. The whole thing's got to stop. It's doing untold damage to people who are unwell. Because we're lying to them that they won't make any difference. They won't. Now, if there are a few people who slip through the net and they're like, I'm living happily as fine, get on with it. But we're not going to do it anymore. That's what we need to say. It stops. It's cosmetic surgery and it's not needed. It's like somebody who's got one of those weird things where they want to remove their limbs. Yeah, we'll just take your legs off, you know. We'll blind you. We'll cut your ears. We'll take your tongue out. It's pure flesh-sacrificing nonsense from a religious cult. It's got religiosity to it. We only have to look at who's out there singing the praises of all this nonsense from leaders across the world who have lost the plot, who have gone completely mental. There's something terribly wrong. So I think Matt's right. But again, that's down to you to tell me. Is he right? What do you think? Because he's going to go after it all. Now, that's going to stick in some people's craw, but I'm with him. We go after it all. It ends. Full stop. It's damaging too many people. Okay, go well. The day is with us. Bye-bye.